You were created to stand out, to be exceptional, to be unique by design. So welcome to Exceptional Living. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be back again with you for another exciting episode of Exceptional Living. And I first would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you who watch, who like, who have shared and subscribed to our YouTube channel, Exceptional Living with Dr. April Ripley. And it is always my honor, always my privilege to bring to you innovators, thought leaders, locally and globally, who are making not just influence in various fields of their industry, but also impacting for transformative, positive change. And so our motto here is to inform, to inspire, and to ignite the greatness that resides in you. Because in a world where one is conditioned to fit in, know that you, yes, you, were designed to stand out, to be exceptional, unique by design. And our very special guest today is certainly no exception and hails all the way from the nation of Israel. Yes. Christian television hostess, TV professional, songstress, actress, Dr. Ruth Pauline Plummer is an astute businesswoman, entrepreneur, Christian television host, and TV show producer. For over 2 decades, she's worked with and served as host on WATC TV 57, an Atlanta live program. So yes, originally hailing from the wonderful city of Atlanta, a little biased on that one. A national flagship program in Metro Atlanta, serving over 46 million viewers worldwide. She is president and CEO of Covenant Daughters Television Network, the first, I repeat, the first Christian network created by women, for women, which can be watched in 62 countries in over 80 million homes across the globe. She's the CEO and founder of Covenant Daughters International Ministries, a global mentorship for women. Among her many accomplishments during her television and hosting career, she served as the host for Joy in Our Town on the Trinity Broadcast Network, also known as TBN, the largest Christian network in the world. And she served as co-host on the award-winning international and national program, The Christian View. She joined her husband on the Lesson program, which reaches approximately 80 million homes globally, and has also appeared on numerous other television and radio shows. Her husband, Bishop Glenn Plummer, Bishop of Israel for the Church of God in Christ. They have a beautiful blended family of 8 adult children and 5 grandchildren. Dr. Ruth Pauline Plummer is a multi-talented and multifaceted minister of the gospel. Also an astute businesswoman and television professional, being used as an instrument of change and hope in numerous arenas. She resides in the city of peace, Jerusalem, Israel. Exceptional Living, please welcome our very special guest, Dr. Ruth Plummer. Hello.
Wow. Hello, Dr. April. How are you?
I am well. We are so excited to have you on the program today.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be with you all today, and thank you so much for having me.
It's such an honor. All of these accomplishments, all the things that you've done, certainly impacting not just Atlanta when you were here, but now Israel. Oh my goodness. Shalom.
Shalom.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Plummer, I would ask, what does exceptional living mean to you?
Well, that is a wonderful question. And when I think about exceptional living, I think about a person who, period. A person who is always ready to say yes to opportunity and also making sure that they are prepared, you know, for those opportunities. And I think an exceptional life is one of those kind of commit us to lifelong learning. They have purpose, they are of service, and we focus on whatever we can control and all that they can in order for us to improve the quality of life for others. So that's what I would say exceptional living is.
And you're certainly a testament of that. I love you talking about lifelong learning, because that is important. And certainly your extensive career and these various fields of influence that you have and impact, entrepreneur, educator, psalmist, minister, whew, that's a lot.
Yes.
But you do it with such grace. I know there you would say style and grace. So yes, you have beautiful style, beautiful person inside and out, but you also walk in this grace, this confidence. So I would ask you, who influenced you in your life to take the journeys and the different paths that you have in all of these different fields of influence?
Wow. When I think about influence, that's a very important word. Who influenced you? When I think about that, even that phrase, I go back to someone who is very, very instrumental. It has been in my life and love and hold dear. And that was my mother and Mama Ruth. I remember when I first started out in ministry, to start my own organization. It was Dr. Monroe really spoken to me, helped me to understand that I could do it, and therefore over, my ministry plan and business. He was one that always dares to encourage me, very encouraging to give insight and accountability. I would have to say also my parents, my grandmother, who set a great example for me in terms of just the character it takes in order to be as a child of God and just engage in everyday life. Um, Dr. Ruth Smith has been very instrumental, and Lady Hill has been very instrumental in helping me to understand the importance of, creating that opportunity for others, and to bring about that justice and righteousness in the earth. So, when I and so many others, Dana Pace, who's actually my spiritual partner, and he helped me to understand how to lay that foundation and to build on that foundation in order to have longevity with integrity. So I can just go on and on and on. I can't be remiss mentioning my spiritual mom, Sarah Ingram, who has very, very instrumental. I think she was the one that really taught me how to balance or prioritize different areas of life and to help them to be able to flow harmoniously in order that I could stay focused on what God has called me to do, to not have to do, but to be able to walk harmoniously in the call.
So basically, there were so many people who've had influence on your life, and certainly starting as a young child, your grandmother and family playing that role. And when we say play the role, we don't mean like it's a role you play and then you take it off and do something else. It is the impact that family has in shaping who we are, shaping our beliefs, And as we progress, as you did, and matriculated into other areas, you have the spiritual influencers as well as Dr. Monroe, Pastor Ruth, certainly, and many of the others that you named, and even having a spiritual father that was there to encourage you and to say, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's in you to do it. I think that's very important. Something sometimes we don't always think of how impactful words can be in another person's life, that they have the power to build up, and they also have the power to dismantle or destroy. And so in your life, you certainly have been blessed to have people who have built you up with words and supported you. I love something you said about integrity and longevity and creating a space for others. You have an organization, the Covenant Women, and talk about creating spaces. How do you create a space for others?
Yes. Well, one of the things that we started Covenant International Ministry, it started by a couple of women. They were older than I was in my 80s, young mother, wife, and a minister. They came to me and they had a session and they said, we believe that you can teach us how to live holy. Well, those were kind of hard order to feel, looking at it from my perspective, and looking at them and who they were, older, or but then they came to me at that time. I was putting out, and I had just recently had my last child, Caleb Joshua, and so I was, in so it wasn't anything that warned them maybe observing my life. I was commenting about things and seeing things, but I wasn't, speaking or anything coming. And but they came home and they one of the ladies said, "You think that you teach us how to live holy?" And I went home because that's with me. And I prayed about it. Lord, what is this? For the next morning, one of the ladies called and she told me that her friend that was with her was wanting to commit suicide. And the wealthy woman, older woman, outside you wouldn't think that she was having any problem internally. And so she was actually help me out and training with her. So when I heard her, I went just back in prayer, and the Lord said to me, "I want you to teach them what I've taught you." And He told me to do it work, and it's His word that them get wherever their passions are, wherever she found herself in life. And so I found a way to help her purpose for living. She had already died. And so I want to make sure that I give her to find that purpose for living. And of course, as you and I know, it's in the word. And so I responded to the call, and we became a 10 women. And I saw life in her. I saw her so much better. She had so much gift, so many talents. So much awesome. And so with that, seeing her go through depression, seeing her come back to life, I began to other women father me for the ministry, and they were able to claim the same blessings of the ministry. So what I found was that it restored their sense of belonging, their self-worth, and to understand that they were needed. And it's identifying what their gifts were, identifying how God even, allows them to be in the earth at that time. Helping them find their purpose, being in it. That's what we do. And we've been doing it for 1990.
Wow. Wow. As you were sharing so many points. So this is the first that others were observing you. And sometimes we don't, I'm not sure that we're always cognizant of that. No, we
Right.
go about our lives every day, but people are watching us. And, Paul tells us that we're living epistles. And I like to say that we're God's walking love letters to the world,
Yes.
that we are his reference. So he says, what is God like? And we should see him through us in our lives. And so you were demonstrative of that. And these women saw something in you that they felt that you would, like Titus, be then able to teach others. And that's powerful too. You talk about creating space. But also the sitting down. You talk about your grandmother. I think of my grandmother, great grandmother, and aunts who would sit and talk about what it is to be a woman.
Yes.
How to go through life, when you're single, when you're married, when you become a grandmother, like all these things of this kind of family, village, and community that I certainly see Covenant Daughters as a part of creating that community and village, even within itself. And that you teach what you've been taught.
Yes.
Right? As an educator, you teach what you know.
You teach what you know. Yes. You teach what you know and you live what you know. Because a lot of times, knowledge, you hear that saying knowledge is power. But it's actually knowledge applied that becomes what's power, that activate those gifts and in you.
Knowledge applied is what brings the power.
Yes.
It is also purpose driven in a way, right? You talk about helping women to find their purpose. This woman that you told that there's a purpose. And my parents like to say that you are a unique expression of God in the earth. And there's something in you that he felt the world should not do without. And when you hear those words, there's something in me that he felt the world should not do without, could not do it without. It does elevate your self-worth and your confidence, your esteem, and the sense of belonging. So live what you know. That's powerful. Live what you know. But, Dr. Plummer, for that reason as well, there are times in life when there's detours, delays, setbacks, disappointments, all the things that come as living this life. What would you say to those who are watching when setbacks come into your life or disappointments? What have you learned, or what have you done to help go through, to cope, to manage, to overcome?
Well, Dr. That's a great because none of us are experienced. As a matter of fact, in order for you, when you receive knowledge and information, that knowledge and that information is tested in your life. The Word of God says that in this world we're going to have tribulation, and that word tribulation which means harsh, savage, hostile, tribulation. You're gonna go. But Jesus told us to be of good cheer, for we have overcome our faith. So our faith helps us to overcome those challenges to conform us into another image outside of what was presented to us. And that is the image of Christ, conform to the image of Christ. And so you can't be conformed or transformed without having to go through the reformation process. And so the challenge is to help you go through that reformation process. And so truly I have share. Oh my God, I have had my share of trials. But now when I look back, I see that they are working everything I could. And the only way they can work everything I could is that I learned obedience to God's word through those trials. And on the other side of obedience is wisdom. And so once you gain the wisdom and divine insight into different matters, then you can really rejoice and be thankful for those trials. Trials come as a result of decisions that we make. Sometimes they come because just the world that we're living in. And it's easy to deal with people because your trial comes from people most of the time. You go through, but you learn how to allow the love of God to cultivate, and so that you can overcome faith and trials. I would say over time, I think I would have to love reigns in my life. That's my final is love. Every single one.
Love.
Choose
God is love. Yes. Choose love.
Yes.
Faith, hope,
and
charity.
love.
The greatest of these is love, because God is love.
Yes.
And yes, trials, tribulations. All of you said it was harsh and savage. Right. So over these past few years, certainly with the pandemic, and some people say it was the plandemic, but we're not getting to that. The fact is that it happened, and we are still coming out. There was loss and certainly disappointment, and the world is still trying to kind of recalibrate itself. And so God's love, our faith in him, and obedience to his word, to his will, is what empowers us and gives us strength, right?
Yeah.
Brings us joy, and to know, as you said, that all things will work together for the good.
Yes.
So it's how we see what's happening to us. Yeah, there's something, Dr. Plummer, that says that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. And it seems really simple and just this kind of cliche, but that is true. The perspective that you have about something or someone cultivates, right? It forms, and you talked about reforming. It forms your belief about them.
Yeah.
Your belief certainly translates into the actions that you spoke of. So it's very powerful about how we see. And I'm sure you remember many messages about vision, the power of vision, by Dr. Monroe and Pastor Ruth too, and they're sharing together.
Also your parents too. I mean,
absolutely, yes.
Let me tell you,
yes.
So, I am your parents here. Listen. Why are you
yes, absolutely.
Joseph.
Yes.
So just listening to messages, and that's what people really have to do is to really, faith comes by doing, by hearing the word of God, and you have to put yourself in positions where you allow yourself to look at things from a different perspective. And how do you do that? By hearing the word of God, not hearing anything else, hearing the word of God. And then from God's perspective, when you begin to get things from a biblical perspective instead of a worldly perspective. And the obedience to His word, because one of the things we want to our the natural man respond in a total different way to whatever it is. And like you said, your beliefs formed by experiences that we have, the knowledge that we gain, use all of that to create our perspective. But our perspective is limited because we don't have all the information. And so that's really important for us to get a biblical perspective. And once we get a biblical perspective, and that is continuing to hear the word of God, and apply it, then his view comes view, his thoughts come from our thoughts, and it'll help your trial. So it's
absolutely. And faith comes by hearing, also fear.
Yes.
Right? And so being intentional of what we allow to our ears to hear and our eyes to see is also important. And certainly your mother and a grandmother So you know this well in raising your children. For those who are watching, talk to us for a moment. Let's shift a little bit into motherhood, and what you're teaching. Well, your children are adults now, but there's still this relationship, right, of counsel and impartation. But what do you feel as parents today, and also from your perspective as an educator? So many, see, just multifaceted. I told you, that children need today in order to deal with what's happening in our world.
Yes. One of the things I feel strongly is that our children need security. They need security of being secure in who they are. Because the only way they can have identity is to be secure in who they are. And the identity comes from parents setting that structure. I look at how my father and my mother and my grandmother raised me. And then I take those same principles and apply them to my parenting. And I see my children are those same principles, those same foundational principles in the lives of their children. So, because those things that I learned were identity. And so when you have that, you feel secure, you feel confident in who you are, you feel assured, you feel that whatever you put on this list to do, and you know you have a purpose, you can do. But it takes patience and progress, understanding that it might not happen today. And so therefore, I don't have to help it happen. I just need to continue to walk in who I know and who and so I feel that the children more than anything need security right now. They need to feel secure in who they are. If they're not in a traditional they need to feel secure and knowing that they are loved, that they have purpose, and that God has plans for their life. And that's communicated in so many ways. Tuesday. And so if I had to answer that question, I would answer identity and security.
Security.
Yes.
That's a very interesting perspective of what they need, because sometimes people think, well, they need more of this, or let them do this, or have fun with their friends, or more online time, or just things that are more tangible, I should say material.
Right?
Yes. But you're speaking to something that is intangible, this security which comes from identity, of belonging, of understanding self-worth and self-actualization. So you're actually saying that as parents, guardians, as you said, or the community. So if it's not traditional mom, dad, it could be aunties, grandmothers, uncles, that this community imparts identity, which brings security, but these are intangibles. And I like when you said you can see now how your children are bringing up their children, as probably your grandparents could see in your children. So we take it into generational, and that is powerful, because you really don't, right? You say, well, my kids, they haven't been in jail, they haven't done anything really, to bring shame or what have you, but you really get to see it in how they bring up. So that's when it sticks, or what has stuck, right? That you see it. I mean, children, we've all had our stories, right? As you, but overall, as you said, the intangibles of character and integrity and the morals and values, you really see that play, and that's why God is loves generations, right? He's always, I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and so He's telling us the importance of generational transference.
Yes.
And that transference can also be transformational. So let's shift a little bit from the mother and the educator to the wife, because Bishop Plummer, he comes to you and says, guess what? We're going to Israel, or tell us about the process. Let us not. Walk us through the process. You've been in Atlanta, certainly successful in all the things you're doing, but now you're in Israel.
Yeah.
How did you get to Israel?
Wow. So, I lived in Atlanta for 30 years, and, I would have to say that I was made in Atlanta, but I was confirmed in Israel.
All right.
And so, working with, civil rights leaders like I call him Uncle BC Vivian and Uncle Dan Lewis, having those kind of interactions and, you know, being able to work within the community as a community organizer, I always had a desire, to make life better for others, to improve the quality of life for others. And so when I first got married to Detroit, it was, it was the same. That was my same goal. Is to make life better for others. And so when my husband was appointed bishop in 2019, he went into Israel, over 20 times. He was the main American leading for Israel at that time. And so he went. Then we were invited to leadership, African American leadership tour there. We went. When I first went, I felt home. It was like there was a rest that came to me, that everything that I had read in the Word, everything I believed, it was now solidified. And it had to be a rest, and knowing that what I knew it was real. And it just changed my whole perspective in terms of even how I think and how we live life. And I found out, my husband found out that that's what the king had experienced. I was reading Rediscovery's book, and in the book I found that they had actually read the truth. And I got all excited, and we really wanted to engage and to reach that, relationship with Israel and America. That's our goal. That's what my husband's desire, first and foremost. And so when I read that, and I said, look, they actually visited Jerusalem. So it turned to the point, I guess to the point for us in understanding what if we're going to continue to be Israel. And, I was what will we engage? And so we knew that, from the news, things about Israel that is just totally everyday life. And so it's that in order for us to be there at the place where I was born, there, but there because we that, that's where our faith is. That's where our bread, that's where the first starts. And I believe that every Christian, every believer visit the Holy Land. Because it's about knowing. And so we just there and we made that move.
Wow. Now
we made that move to create that real.
Yes, because that's not just moving to the next state. That is actually moving to a different country, different culture, different language, with a commonality of faith roots. But certainly it's working, through that. And I'm an intercultural etiquette trainer, and there's a lot, and always encourage people. I know you watch the news, I know you read, but it's different when you're there, feet on the ground, and you're talking to the people, and you're there with your own eyes and ears to see what's happening. But certainly, Dr. King's connection. And I remember the very first time, Dr. Plummer, my mother and I were in Israel with Dr. Marilyn Hickey, and she had this women's forum. So it was all women on the trip, and we sat down and we had conversations with Orthodox women, with Muslim women, with more reform. So it was just a wide range, and then those who came from American, really other parts of the world. Dr. Hickey's ministry touches that.
Yeah.
And we went out back of the host hotel, and there was this marker, and it had Dr. King's name. I was like, wait, Dr. King. I mean, we knew that he visited, but to see this, to see this love, but also this bridge, as you said, we moved to build this bridge.
Yes.
And I know recently, speaking of building bridges, you had this amazing event in Israel, on the street named after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I will say as well, I'm still in Atlanta, and the Israeli Consulate Corps, Consul General, like the Israeli Consul General, who's a part of the Consulate Corps here in Atlanta, has always been supportive of the King Center and his efforts, events that we have. But I want you to share a bit about what happened recently in Israel on Martin Luther King Jr. Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, when people come, African Americans come to Israel, to visit here, always this point to two things. One, give them some soul food in Israel, and to take them to Martin Luther King because people didn't know it existed in Israel. And as I began to read about, Dr. King and the business that he building, the relationship that he was, curating and cultivating, and just the plans that he had to bring 5,000 African Americans to Israel. But what happened was they called Korea, they weren't able to, but they had 600 people already registered to come. And who made it because it was assassinated. And so I began to get to letters, and a lot of people there that began to share with us. We went to sit down with Star. He wasn't at the time, but he shared so much information. It just made us have a burden, to see that being alive. And we knew that was one of the reasons there. So this year was the first year that I had the Women of the Bible. And I invited Lady Campbell, who's like and Archbishop to be the host. Because as you know, Bishop represents leadership, which is and then we still represent life and justice. So one thing that God has given when Jesus encountered everyone, he restores justice and righteousness. So there's a billion there. So that's where we assign Lady, because I believe this generation needs to continue to hear the message of Pauline, and we need to really help his children. Martin Luther and Dr. Louise, and helping to carry the message, helping people understand the importance of the message. And so there's well, we had about 20 women, and I found that there's this youth group and he Apostle Dows And so someone, told me he was coming, and then we connected, and I told him about the service that was going to be on Martin King Jr. Street. There is no Martin King Jr. Street. They know that. And he didn't, so he invited me to be part of the service and to attend some of the other events that we were having, like at the Knesset and at the president's. And so he had 400 young people. So there on the street, we had over 600. I know the papers, it was 600 people there on Martin Luther King Jr. Street.
Beautiful.
The street came from Jerusalem. It was amazing. It was, you could feel that we were doing the right thing and that we were doing prophecy.
Yes. Wow. And a lot of things, Dr. Plummer, that delay does not mean denial. And as you were sharing the story of Dr. King and something else came in to delay what his vision was, it's happening. Yeah, and it will continue to grow. We have no doubt about that. It will continue to grow.
Yeah.
And what you shared also was community coming together.
Yeah.
You had an event, you found out others were coming, and you invited them, to the table, or what, these things that we talk about, tables. But it's something you said earlier. You created space.
Yes.
And you brought in more into the community to share knowledge, as you talked about. Certainly they learned the experience, and this was a positive experience, right? You're walking down the street. It was nothing, that would be destructive, but this was something that was uplifting.
Yeah.
You're on several media stations, and like you said, you were in the Knesset, and so to show that it is possible to bring together people from different cultures, different experiences. It reminds me of the Ubuntu ethos that we find often in the continent of Africa, that I am because we are.
Yes.
So this village that came together in Israel, that was sparked by a vision that Dr. King had, but also, Bishop, in your obedience to what you felt led to, right? Because sometimes things come and I've never been there, I've never done that, and we can shy away from it. But your courage, your trust in God said, yes, we believe so. And there was a peace that came, and something totally new. Yeah. Even though you had your faith, let's dig a little bit, right? But you're still, coming into Israel, having to learn, stretch beyond your comforts and a lot of things. But look at what is the fruit of that.
Yeah.
And I believe for all of us watching, including myself, who's a part of this program, but to hear that sometimes you just step out in faith, feeling this peace, and God will show you. You'll see things happening that are, again, the fruit of your obedience, and that others are waiting on you to say yes.
Yes.
That some of their destiny is tied to your obedience to say yes. This other group that you invited, had you not, you and Bishop moved, had you not had this event for the women of the Bible tour, had you not heard that they were coming. So all these had you nots came together. And wow, yes. So we have to go back to Israel.
Absolutely. And I'm just waiting for you to come. As I told you, we really need to come, and you have such an anointing, that ambassadorship that we need to release there as we establish this brand. You have an open, but I'm gonna make it.
All right. I love it. And I love it too, Dr. Plummer, because you and Bishop are also ambassadors.
Yes.
Right. Paul says that we are ambassadors for Christ. And so when you know that you have been appointed and also accredited, that word accredited brings an authority and a power to act on behalf of. And that's what we have as believers. That certainly is what you are demonstrating there in Israel, but still having impact here stateside as well. And so, we thank you for sharing your story candidly with us, And before we close, I would say, well, I would do this. So, two things. What are three things that have guided your life? And then the second question, you could think about this as well, is what would the woman that you are today say to the girl that you were? So, what three things have guided your life? And what would the woman you are today say to the girl that you were?
So if I was answer that's a loaded question. What three things guided my life? I would definitely have to say number one is the word the Holy Spirit. I mean, because you can have another spirit, but you definitely need the Holy Spirit. You need Holy Spirit. He changed my life. Number two, faith. Faith in the word and great relationships. Great relationships. So Holy Spirit, faith, and relationships.
Definitely.
Yes.
Right? That relationships are bridges into your future.
Yes.
God believes in relationships. He establishes them.
Yes.
But we're also discerning sometimes because the enemy has his own way of doing things, right? He also tries to put relationships. And so that's why the word of God, the Holy Spirit, and faith helps us discern the right relationships.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now the relationship part, I did that a big statement. But if I had found that with relationships, you have to learn how to appreciate people properly in your life. Sometimes people come into our lives and we put them in the wrong places and we allow them to feel spaces that they're not meant. They were never meant to feel and put them in positions that they were never meant to be. And so if you have a spirit, we can help you discern what is the purpose that person is coming into your life. We always say, everyone comes into your life for a reason. Some come for a season, some come for a season, and some come for a lifetime. And so if you appropriate people properly, you can really kind of prohibit a lot of drama in your life and things that set you off course. If you learn to appropriate people in your life.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Relationships are important, but the next level says appropriating where they should be in your life.
Yes.
As you said, right? In executive coaching, we talk about people who are on the porch, right? Think of a house on the porch. You've got porches, but hey, but then you have some people that get to come inside the house.
Yes.
Right? Just right there in the living room. But then you have the people who get to go into the kitchen. Now, the Southern ladies, we know about the kitchen and the refrigerator. Just go get it in the refrigerator. Let's be at home. But those are different levels of relationship. And so it is important that we appropriate the people that we are in relationship with in the right places to bring about peace.
That's right.
A lot of peas right there, but there we go, to bring about peace.
Yeah.
So Dr. Plummer,
okay.
Our last question back. I can't wait to hear this. What would the woman that you are today say to the girl that you were?
That you made the right decisions, and that it was okay for you not to get it. But it was more important for you to obey God. So you made the right decision. Because I started at a very young age, where everyone was doing everything. I committed my life to the Lord, and I committed. And so when I did that, I would say to her, and you made the right decision, even though the challenge for you. People did feel that you were missing out on things. Still held people personally, but you still held. You went through so much, but you still stayed true. So I would say to you, young Dr. that you made the right decision, and that was with God.
I love it. It may be hard, it may be difficult,
Yes.
but you made the right decision to stay true to God, true to your faith. And look, you could be in the nation of Israel,
Yes.
meeting with heads of government,
Yes.
influencing persons worldwide through television ministry, education,
Yes.
psalmistry, and all these things because you stayed the course,
Yes.
even when it wasn't popular. Wow. Well, we certainly appreciate the young Dr. Ruth who stayed the course and appreciate you and Bishop. We honor you for first who you are, how you represent, and certainly for the work that you are doing to help better the lives of millions around the globe through your faith, obedience, and through your love of God and your love of humanity. Thank you for being a part of our show today. And thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Atkins. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the inspiration that you are. Yeah, being in a foreign land, you have definitely, I have to say, been one of those people that have just inspired me when I get, a text or something for you, it just ignites my world. And it lets me know that God is looking in. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you, Dr. Plummer.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Exceptional living. What a transformative conversation. I learned so much today about the importance of relationships, how to appropriate the right people in the right places, certainly sustaining our faith in God, our trust in Him, our love, and also our obedience, also integrity, which will bring about longevity, because you never know what you say yes to, how it will impact thousands, your community, your nation, and the world. And so, again, I want to please invite you to like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube channel. And until our next time together, remember that you are a unique expression of God in the earth. And there is something in you that He felt the world should not do without. You were created to live an exceptional life, unique by design. God bless you, and thanks for watching.